Alright, so you know how I always tell you guys God's a fair judge and people don't understand what they're talking about? Alright, well, after the angels met with Abraham and he was asking them, can you spare the city of Sodom and whatnot, the angels then went and met with Lot. So the angels had accepted the hospitality of Abraham without delay, but they refused Lot at first because it was like good breeding to show reluctance when an ordinary man invites you to his house, but to accept the invitation of a great man all at once, like right away. I don't know why, that's just the custom. But this is what Lot's wife did to be turned to salt. Everybody's like, oh, she just turned around and looked at the city, and God's not fair for just, killing her that way. No, that's not what happened. Lot divided his dwelling in two parts, one for himself and his guests, and the other for his wife, so that if aught happened, his wife would be spared by the people in Sodom, because you're not allowed to have guests at all in your house, or they'll kill you. So, nevertheless, it was she who betrayed him. She went to the neighbor and borrowed some salt, and to the question whether she could not have supplied herself with salt during daylight hours, she replied, "We had enough salt until some guests came to us. For them we needed more." In this way, the presence of strangers was brooded abroad in the city. In the beginning, the angels were inclined to hearken to the petition of Lot in behalf of the sinners, but when all the people of the city, big and little, crowded around the house of Lot with the purpose of committing a monstrous crime, the angels warded off his prayer, saying, "Hitherto thou couldst intercede for them, but now no longer." It was not the first time that inhabitants of Sodom wanted to perpetrate a crime of this sort. They had made a law some time before that all strangers were to be treated in this horrible way. Lot was appointed chief judge on the very day of the angels' coming, tried to induce the people to desist from their purposes, saying to them, "My brethren, the generation of the deluge was extirpated in consequence of such sins as you desire to commit, and you would revert to them." But they replied back, "And through Abraham himself come hither, we should have no consideration for him. It is possible that thou wouldest set aside a law which thy predecessors administered." Even Lot's moral sense was no better than it should have been. It is the duty of a man to venture his life for the honor of his wife and his daughters, but Lot was ready to sacrifice the honor of his daughters, wherefore he was punished severely later on. The angels told Lot who they were and what the mission was that brought them to Sodom, and they charged him to flee from the city with his wife and his 4 daughters, 2 of them married and 2 betrothed. Lot communicated their bidding to his son-in-law, and they mocked at him, saying, "O thou fool, violins, cymbals, and flutes resound in the city, and thou sayest Sodom will be destroyed." Such scoffing has hastened the execution of the doom of Sodom. The angel Michael laid hold upon the hand of Lot and his wife and his daughters, while with his little finger the angel Gabriel touched the rock whereon the sinful cities were built and overturned them. At the same time, the rain was streaming down upon the 2 cities was changed into brimstone. And I know this sounds a little weird, but yesterday I was driving home and I was praying for all the people that are going to be destroyed on the east and west coast and this judgment coming from God. And the license plate in front of me said brimstone. Just want to share that with you guys. God bless and take care.